Today's podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the BattlePlans podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the Battle of Thermopylae, which is actually, it's a decently cool battle. The battle, or the Siege of Lycia, is definitely cooler, so if you want to learn about that, check out my last episode. Yes, the Battle of Thermopylae, possibly one of the best propaganda in the old world that we've seen, because they've glorified themselves as heroic and elite warriors, but in reality, they're not. If you want to learn more about that, check out Invicta's channel. I think he has some videos on that. Anyway, good stuff. So yeah, alright, let's get on with the video. So, the setting. The Battle of Thermopylae took place in Thermopylae, Greece, wow, after the first invasion of Persia and the Battle of Marathon. Quick note, the reason the Persians invaded Greece is because Greece fought back against them. And so it was started by the Greece. Whatever you've heard is probably wrong. There's a lot of wrong things that you've probably heard about this, but this is the facts. So, Persia had just been driven back by the combined effort of numerous Greek states, but mainly Athens. However, that story is for another day. This is all about Thermopylae and the famous 300 Spartans. Obviously, there were more than 300, and we can't forget about the other supporting Greeks. So, stats. By modern estimate, there are around 7,000 Greeks, and around so many. I think this number's probably wrong. This says 120,000 to 300,000. It was probably less than that, but because most of our accounts are from Sparta, you know what? Those are the numbers we got. Even dumbed down numbers. So, as you can tell, the odds aren't stacked. But even so, if you could go back to that day, you'd have seen King Leonidas bravely at the head of his army, while Xerxes, the first king of Persia, is safely watching at the back of his army. So thanks to Herodotus, we think we know that around 4,000 Greeks died in battle, while anywhere from 20,000 to 40,000 Persians died. Alright, so the battlefield. The place of battle was chosen by the Greeks, an extremely narrow path through the mountains that evened the disparity in numbers. If there was any place to have a last stand, this was it. In truth, even though the Spartans were incredibly brave, they wouldn't have done near as much damage to the Persian horde if they hadn't chosen this mountain pass. Okay, so now something to note here is that there are actually, some people think it wasn't actually at a mountain pass. It was actually in kind of like there, I think, I heard that there was mountains or steep hills on one side, and then on the other side is actually water. So I don't think it was a full mountain pass, but this is what we've heard, the accounts that we've read. This is what we know so far. Alright, so at the beginning of this 3-day battle, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't just 300 Spartans against some massive Persians. It was actually 7,000 Greeks at the beginning that helped Leonidas hold off the invading force. However, when they were betrayed by a local civilian, King Leonidas dismissed most of the army and stayed with around 1,000 men, give or take, which consisted of 300 Spartans and around 700 Thespians. So it wasn't just Sparta, it was also Thespians. So basically, they were overwhelmed. Quickly, they were crushed, basically. They did good damage, but honestly, it was more of a political propaganda to show that Sparta was in this war to win it, and yeah. So the result of this battle was the unfortunate, if you're rooting for the Greeks, but not unforeseen demise of the Spartans and other assorted Greeks. Demise of them in the past. Even though the Greeks lost the battle, this led to the Persian navy being led into the Straits of Salamis, which was actually a decisive victory for the Greeks. This continued to snowball into a final Greek victory over the Persian invaders. Not only did this eventually lead to the Greeks winning the war, it was also a huge step for democracy because every single Spartan chose to be there and fight for their country, dominating the Persian slave army. It even shows how extraordinary bravery can win wars. Okay, so this, I actually wrote this a while ago, so now I'm disagreeing with this stuff. Now I've read some more. This was not a huge step for democracy, mainly because Sparta was definitely a huge slave state. They had a lot of slaves, and really it was just the elite. There was basically two classes, the elite and the slaves. And actually, the reason people think that the Spartans are so militaristic is because they had to be in order to maintain dominance over their slaves. I forget what the slaves are called, but yeah, huge win for democracy, maybe not. I don't know. You guys can read more up on it. This is the account that I've created, and I hope you enjoyed this edit, and I'll see you later. Bye.